book is Infinity Crazy Lady. Yeah, I know. And there's a hand up. And in the background, there's a hand up. And in the background of the background, there's a hand up. Go for it, Kayla. What is it? Yep, go get it. Whoa. Class. I need all that talking to stop. Whoever's dropping all these feathers would be good. I think that's Innocente. Clearly, Innocente's wearing a lot of feathers. Definitely not me. Must be these feathers up here. Right? Where are they? These? I see feathers up there. Okay. Good morning, Megan.
Good morning.
Are you dressed appropriately for Crazy Hair Day?
I mean, kinda.
Complete with matching weird shoes?
I don't have shoes on.
No? No weird, ugly feet going on? Okay. I am so hot. Okay, let me log back into Canvas because I know the thing being Canvas is log me out because, you know, that's what it does. All right, guys. So if you have your computer, which is a majority of my students, you're going to go into modules and you'll go to Wednesday. If you don't, you're going to follow along on my screen. Okay. And what you're looking for is Wednesday, March 3rd. Megan, can you see my Canvas screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect. Okay. So what you're looking for, guys, is Wednesday, March 3rd, Bill of Rights, page 1 worksheet. Okay. That's what I'm going to click. All right. On this one, guys, Megan, and for my friends that will be watching this, I need to talk to my class to stop. This is one that I know is loaded on Kami, but it would be much better if you did this on paper because you're going to need to color these ribbons. Okay. There are 6 on this page. In past years, I would have my students cut out these boxes and glue them onto another page. Sorry, it's hot in here, so these are coming off until it cools off in the room.
Which one do we?
Oh, what is it, Megan? You cut out for a second. You're cutting out. You're going to start on Bill of Rights, page 1. Ugh.
Thank you.
Uh-huh. So with this, instead of doing it on Kami, it would be better if you did this on your paper and then snapshot a picture and send it to me in Class Dojo, okay? We are not going to cut and glue this time because my students tend to lose little pages, the little boxes, and they have problems with cutting. So what we're going to do instead is we're going to turn this page sideways. So I'm going to actually stop share on this, and I'm going to share screen on ImageMate once I get my Elmo to come up. Come on, ImageMate, wakey, wakey. Okay, it's It's not showing up yet. Now let me try again. There we go. Okay, Megan, can you see? Nope, there it stopped sharing. Let me hit share again. ImageMate. All right, can you see the remote right now? And ImageMate?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so this is going to be the one that I would prefer my students work on. I know most of my kids that are virtual have not picked up their packets yet because I still have, I think, 4 packets in my classroom. Wyatt, Deasia, and Megan have their packets, which means Lucas, Denny, who else? Joseph. Trying to think if I have any others. I can think right off the top of my head, those 3 students do not yet have their packets. They do need to get them because it's easier to do pages like this on the actual paper. Okay. So what we're going to do first, guys, is turn this sideways because this is where we have our extra space. And we're going to label this Bill of Rights. Allie, by the way, my 20-year-old son still loves Pokemon. No, the game, the card game. He still loves Pokemon. He's 20. He turns 21 in 7 days.
I can't believe it. It's good. Good.
He went away for a while, but now he's back to Pokemon. We're like, really, Ian? Seriously? I just know that he ordered this big box. I'm like, what is that? Pokemon cards. There's much worse things for a 21-year-old to be into. So I'm not complaining. By the way, power of that blue hair, right? So I went to the doctor yesterday, and like I told you, it's where a lot of older people go, this doctor that I went to. And as I was walking in, this older lady stopped what she was doing. Didn't know her. And she had taken off her mask because she was outside the doctor's office. And I stopped what I was doing and just wait. Because like when you're dressed up, you look like a character, kind of character role, right? And this elderly man, he's like probably 90 years old. He goes, I like the hair, lady. I'm like, thank you. And he started talking to me. I'm like, yeah, dressed up in character. You're going to bring on conversations. Perfect strangers. Go inside. Every nurse around came out to see me. People I hadn't met before coming out to see me. They're like, oh my gosh, I didn't even recognize you because I know a lot of people that have to go there a lot. And we had to go pick up rent, and it's not in very good areas. 2 people were having a drug deal, and it's at a rent house that my husband owns. They stopped what they were doing to stare at me, laugh, and wave. And I said, no, there's some power in my wig. I stopped the drug people. My husband's like, good going, woman. He's like, never thought I'd want someone to pay attention to you. Because normally if you see something like that going down, you just turn your eyes, look the other way, go away. You know, that's not something you want people paying attention to. You want to be invisible then, right? They stopped what they were doing, looked up and smiled. And he's like, wow, okay, there's power in your wig, dude. So yeah, the blue hair. All right, Bill of Rights. Everybody has that label on the side, right? Okay. So I'm going to get my colored pencil. Oops. And it's going to be this group of kiddos that I set my colors with. I've got too many things in this bag. There. And I went to a bunch of stores dressed like that, and the people at Ulta did not even act like anything was out of character. Wow, y'all must see some strange people.
They see my sister.
The lady checking me out did not smile, did not laugh. I'm like, wow, y'all must be used to seeing some stuff. All right, so you're going to need orange, red, pink, green, yellow, purple, blue, a light blue, some kind of brown. I'm going to write them on the board in just a moment. I'm going to also put them right here. And it doesn't matter what kind of green, just a green. For our number 10 color, we'll do a magenta, like that pink and purple like we used yesterday. So this is supposed to be red. Mine is not a good red, so I'm going to go get one that's just plain. Actually, I have a red right in here. Plain red. Oh, that's why. I don't have a red in my bag. Okay, so red, orange, yellow, red, orange, yellow. There's a lot of talking. Green, light blue, regular blue. That's purple. It is a rainbow. And then pink, magenta, which is that pinkish purple, and then brown. Yes. Okay. So yellow. Stop talking, please. Light blue. And just a regular blue. Purple. Pink. Magenta. Brown. Okay. All right, everybody have their colors ready. All right, I need the talking to stop. Ready, Megan?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. All right, my friends that are talking, stop. Those of you over at my colored pencil area, you should have brought colored pencils with you. I made the announcement on Dojo 2 days ago. Michaela, you're not supposed to be grabbing pencils and dropping them back in that cup. Come on. All right, guys. Amendment 1, we're gonna start off with that one, coloring it red. Remember we said it's not an accident, the order that these amendments were listed. The freedoms that were listed in Amendment 1 were clearly the ones that the people who wrote the amendments thought were most important, yes? All we're coloring is the ribbon, okay? Make it neat. All right. That's our red. By the way, is there anybody here today that was not here yesterday? I need to take this. Should be easy as pie, especially that last one. Hunter's gone again. Whew. Okay, let's move to right to bear arms. That one's also pretty high up there for importance, right? Something that I didn't think to mention yesterday in class is not just the fact that our founding fathers thought it was important for Americans to be armed in order to form a militia if our government became too strong, i.e. tyrannical strong, like King George had been, but also when our government was first formed, what did people have to do to get food? They had to hunt. You're not going to be throwing rocks at your food, are you? Yeah, it's supposed to be orange. Okay. So they had to have arms to be able to hunt. So, and Jacques brought up a very valid point that when the founding fathers wrote the Constitution and the amendments, guns were different then. They didn't have guns that had, 100 rounds in a clip. They didn't have magazines. It was a single shot in the gun, it was a different kind of weapon. Muzzle loader, that kind of thing. So it's something completely different. But it's still true that our founding fathers, there's still reasons for Americans to have guns. There's no way for us to protect ourselves from an overzealous government if the government should turn to something like tyranny, like King George led us to declare our independence from. And if for any reason we should not be able to enter stores, which we had a few days of that, didn't we? With the grocery stores being shut down. Yeah. There's a slight possibility that we'll need to go get our own food again. Not a big possibility, but a slight one. And people do still have a right to defend themselves from other people. Those are founding ideals of our country. Come on, Elmo. I did color it orange. I guess you guys will have to believe me because look, it is very much orange. It does. Elmo's being weird with the color. There it goes. Now it showed orange. Okay. Got to get rid of the camel toe for a little while. Ugh. Ugh. Right. You just dropping all kinds of stuff there, Allie. It's Pokemon cards. You've only got 2 cards in your hair.
Yeah, this one want to go in.
You got a paper and a pencil on the floor though. And Ricardo's over there dropping more pink feathers. It's those feather boas of his.
My dad catches me. Maybe you drop the can, but oh, do they?
You want to wear this and find out how non-itchy they are?
Nope. I don't think anyone's I'm getting a saucer or
Never done it before. Today's a first. No, it's just bothersome.
Let's move on to number 2.
Quartering of soldiers. And this one is colored appropriately, yellow. It definitely made people want to stop, as in stop, get out of my house. Mila, my little soldier's child, broke her mama's front tooth last night. Broke it right out of her mouth.
Did you say worked it?
Broke it right out of her mouth, her front tooth.
Well, that's good.
So Tamia's missing her front tooth now, thanks to her daughter. Yeah, my grandchild broke her mama's front tooth right out of her mouth.
Wrong.
Yep.
That's just wrong. What?
Head banging,
Ooh.
doing this.
My uncle, he threw a rock at my mom's teeth.
Ooh,
They were black for a long time.
ooh,
And then she had to have all her teeth removed.
oh, Tamia's already got problems with her teeth, so Adrian didn't get home from Natchitoches because National Guard drill until after 8. So, and Tamia, I guess, wasn't feeling good because she wouldn't text with me very long. I'm pretty certain she's pretty irritated with her daughter. Because I offered to come get Mila, and she's like, no. And that was the last I heard. I'm guessing that little Mila got put to bed early. Next is green. Search and seizure. Irony, because definitely people would not want police to be able to search and seize their items without a warrant. And green we think of as the go color, right?
Mine is like weird green. Mine is the swamp green.
All right, I need that extra talking to stop, okay? All right. Rights for the accused, we'll do light blue. So this is the Amendment 5, where if you ever watch Law and Order or any other shows where someone says, I plead the fifth, that's referring to Amendment 5, where a person does not have to self-incriminate. In other words, they don't have to say something that might make themselves look guilty.
Is that light blue or dark?
Light blue.
I only know a lot of light blues.
I don't know.
You don't know Law and Order? Everyone knows Law and Order. Okay, but have you watched
Law and Order has only been on for like 20 years, 30 years.
You should have seen me watching Mike too.
All right. And then right to a speedy trial.
They always go to trial.
We'll do in dark blue. Don't color this so dark that you can't read the words on it, because you need to be able to read the words on the ribbon, okay? We have the first 6 done. Got them? Flip your booklet to the other side. Yes. You're going to write at the bottom of this Bill of Rights, because remember it's 10, it's not 6. And you want to remind yourself that the Bill of Rights also includes 7 through 10. Trial by jury, we're going to color that magenta color. Punishment, we're going to color that pink. And that's a real short way of saying cruel and unusual punishment. Then rights reserved to people, we'll do purple. And I'm betting this is showing up looking kind of dark blue, but side of my pencil says violet, and violet is purple. Make sure that you don't color so darkly right over the letters, because I want you to be able to read the actual words. Okay. And brown is that last one. Remember, if you borrowed pencils, put them to the side and I'll spray them with Lysol. All right, is everybody finished coloring? And put the colored pencils back? I was sending all your parents the pictures that I've taken straight to your parents, and then I'll post them to Dojo. Make some parents day. All right, so I just flipped back to page 1 and what's his website? I have no clue. And I'm going to go to where the article is on the Bill of Rights. Okay. And if I can make this smaller, it would be great. Yeah. This, I don't like you. Thank you. Okay, so these are the actual words. I don't know what just happened. Instead of getting larger, it got smaller. Ah. All right, so Amendment 1 says Congress should make no laws respecting an establishment of religion. Let me take that in more today kind of English. In other words, Congress should not say what the official language, the official religion is. What is that in response to? Hello, Coach Reed. What is that in response to? You can't force a religion because where had they done that before? Hey there. England, because who had done that? King George III had done that. That's right. or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. So in other words, they couldn't tell them how they did their religion, how they worshiped, right? Good for Marcus. Uh-huh. Really?
That's what my little granddaughter said when she was that age.
She broke her mama's front tooth last night.
Oh, that's not good.
No.
How she did that?
Yep.
Headbutt.
Did like this.
So she did the headbutt, so I didn't see it.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
my little granddaughter was the exact same. That's why I wanted to see that. I laughed at her.
Mila has got the sass of her mama and her daddy
Uh-oh.
put together.
I
She's a strong-willed little child. Or abridging the freedom of speech. To abridge means to limit. So in other words, Congress could not tell people what they could or could not say. That's a big deal. In China, that's one of the largest countries in the world. They have billions of people. Hugely populous country. People are not allowed to say what they want to say. If people say something against the government, they disappear off the streets. Now here's something crazy. Y'all all know what social media is, right? That's not the right page, Maya. I need you to get on the right page. In China, people actually earn social media scores. Anybody ever heard of this?
Yeah. But followers?
No,
No.
no. You know how on Facebook you can get likes and you can like a business, you can like a doctor's office? Well, in China, they've taken that to an extreme because it's such a huge country. There are so many choices for people to go to. In Shreveport, we have one major doctor's office or one major hospital chain to go to. What is that? Willis-Knighton. You have LSU, which is part of the Ochsner chain, and you have Willis-Knighton. We have Christus Shumpert, which is actually Christus Highland, but it has one location. It's not much for competition. Willis-Knighton is better than nothing, but it's better than, let me preface this with, Mena, Arkansas is a beautiful place, but it's a tiny place. Okay. I've only been there once. It's where my brother died. Okay. Someone ran her red light and plowed. She didn't run. When you go run a red light, just run the sucker. Don't run it and stop in the intersection and wait and watch someone slam into you. That's even worse, right? If you don't run it, just run the red light. She ran it, stopped, and waited for my brother's motorcycle to run right into her. And that was the second time she'd done it to somebody. Second time she killed somebody doing that. My brother's on a motorcycle the day before the terrorist attacks. Okay. So Mena, Arkansas at the time had a small hospital. His heart, you have an area that surrounds your heart. His had shifted over. And instead of dealing with that, and instead of dealing with what was going on with his brain, they were stitching up a cut on his face. That's inappropriate healthcare, right? Who cares about the cut on the face? You need to deal with life-threatening stuff, right? But when you're at really small hospitals where you don't have the imaging, like CTs and MRIs, you don't have the doctors that have critical care experience, you're not going to get that quality health care. That's the difference between life and death. That's what I'm saying. Willis-Knighton has doctors that are that, and so does LSU, it's part of Ochsner now. It has those doctors,
but it doesn't have a lot of competition. New Orleans and Dallas are big cities, yes? Doctors that graduate from medical schools that are the best in their classes go to Dallas and New Orleans. They don't come to Shreveport.
So we're stuck with the bad one?
No, we don't get stuck with the top notch doctors as soon as they come out of
Like
medical
top
school. Top tier. They might come here after they retire from their top tier jobs, but they're not going to come here right out of medical school. They're not going to come here and keep pursuing more high technology stuff. They're not going to come here to compete with other people to stay at the top of their game. See the difference? That's why I went to Baylor for several years to get the top of the game injections for my head until my doctor here learned how to get the treatments that I needed. It took 3 years for my doctor here to learn how to do the nerve injections that I needed. Now she does them. She does them every 2 weeks, which is great. That's the frequency that I need. And I don't have to take a day off every 2 weeks to go to Dallas. I do it at the end of the school day, so I don't miss school time, which is fabulous. It's the best for my class. It's the best for me. It's the best for my husband. I don't miss school time. So in China, think of it as those big cities. They have lots and lots of competition. So you get really, really good services, medical, you get really good food, you get really good clothing because you have so much competition. So you want people liking your business. Make sense? My doctor at Baylor, she's always sending me surveys, wanting me to like her business and fill out these surveys for her because she has competition with other places that are doing these cutting edge technological treatments for these things that I have. Here, I'm the worst over here in Shreveport with these. I have complex migraine. I'm the worst that my doctor's ever seen. Over there, they get patients from all over the country who come there for the treatments. They see all kinds of people who have stuff like what I have. But here, I'm the only one like this. I'm the goofball over here. Well, in China, they have lots and lots of people. So they have a lot of competition with other companies. So they have to have some way of standing out so that people will want to come to them. Does that make sense? So Facebook and other social media platforms have become their way of standing out. And so they have to get likes on Facebook or whatever social media. And they have to always get the 5-star reviews, your Yelp reviews. Y'all know what Yelp is, right? Your whatever platform you use to get ride sharing, Lyft, Uber, whatever. You have to always get those 5-star reviews. And not only do customers give reviews, but the person that picks you up gives the customer a review. So people are always vying to have a 5-star review of themselves. And if you don't have a certain star rating, because each person has a social star rating, then you can't even get on an airplane. Yeah. You can't go to a bank and borrow money. You can't go to a doctor. Yeah. Can you imagine not only having to buy products using money, but you also have to run your life based on a star system that's social media based? That is bizarre. I don't know if you've ever seen the series Black Mirrors. There's one of the series episodes has to do with China's social media thing. That's real. It's based on China's social media reality. It is insane. My son had told me about it. Adrian had told me about it. And I looked into it and I was like, oh my gosh, this is the reality. I can't imagine living my life where every time I got in a cab, I had to give the cab driver a 5 and pray that he gave me a 5 so that I could keep my rating above a 4.8 so that I'd be able to get on a plane to go somewhere.
Why don't they just move
To where?
here?
You can't. You even have to have a high rating to go meet with somebody to get a visa and to get a passport to even interview to try to come here. We're one of those countries where we can get passports to go to most countries in the world, but it's not like that if you live in Costa Rica, or if you live in Nicaragua, or in China, or in Russia. People can't just come to the United States to live. It's not like that. China is very limited. People in a lot of countries don't have the ability, getting back to our Bill of Rights, to have free speech. And with that social media platform very much running their lives, because it is, that's even more limiting their freedom of speech. Because then they're having to live by that 5-star rule. And when I say 5-star rule, I mean that social media rule, right? That's even more limiting, isn't it? Can you imagine always trying to get a 5-star on everything? Talk about being fake sweet every time, everywhere. I mean, I can't imagine being fake all the time. Y'all know how extremely honest I am with everything, right? I would rub people wrong all the time. Texting, you don't get people's tone or sarcasm in a text, do you?
Take a pigeon. You what?
I don't get that, but yeah.
I eat messenger pigeon.
Whew. Back to camel toe. You're off. Okay. Freedom of the press. I mentioned to you guys in second block about freedom of the press, how important that is, because Syria, there's a big honking example of Syria, right? With what they did to their own people in 2014. Or right of the people peaceably to assemble. That's a big deal. Do you remember the protests last year in the summer? Do you remember the protests? That is an American right to gather peacefully and protest, to assemble. That is an American right. As long as you are peaceful, that is as American as they say, as apple pie. That is an American right to gather together and peacefully talk, get together and protest. That is the First Amendment, guys. To gather together in a big group. A lot of places don't have that. That was one of the things the British, that was their way of them trying to stop colonials from planning any kind of breakaway from British rule.
What time is it?
So the colonials, when they were writing the Bill of Rights, put it in the very First Amendment that we're going to have the right to get together peacefully, assemble, and protest. That is an American right in the very First Amendment.
The thing is,
It's important.
now people are so close to travel.
But burning isn't peaceful, but the ability to get together and talk in a group, that's very First Amendment, as American can be. And the last part of the First Amendment is the ability to petition the government with a list of grievances, because they couldn't do that with England, could they? They couldn't tell England what they were mad about. So they wrote that in the very First Amendment. We can go to the government with a list of our complaints. Yep, First Amendment, very First Amendment. And they can't do anything to us about it. They can't put us in jail for it. First Amendment. Okay, so Amendment 1, freedoms. Share. Screen. Religion. Speech. Petition. Press. Assembly. Petition means to give a list of complaints to the government. Press is media. Assembly means to gather together in a group. The First Amendment has 5 parts to it, and they're all integral. Okay, I'll be switching back over. You guys will see it again. Amendment 2, right to bear arms. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. So the Second Amendment says that for people to be able to take back an overly strong, a tyrannical government, they have to have their own arms, their own guns. Okay, that's the way it is explained why people have the right to have guns. They don't talk about about having guns for their own protection from anybody breaking in their houses or for food, but those are other reasons that people need to have guns. But here it's stated that we need to become our own militia if the government becomes tyrannical. Okay. Okay.
Okay. Amendment 3. My daughter-in-law accidentally texted me. She's like, oops, wrong person. All right, Amendment 3, quartering of soldiers. No soldier shall, in time of peace, be quartered in any house without the consent of the owner, nor in time of war, but in a manner to be prescribed in law. In other words, you can't force people to house soldiers. Only soldier that you gotta quarter is your own spouse or child if you want to. It's no force quartering otherwise. Okay. The government. I'm laughing because my own soldier just texted me. Is not allowed to quarter, house soldiers in private homes. Now, just FYI, I'm probably going to give you guys a little quiz on this Friday. Just on the Bill of Rights. I might ask you maybe 4 matching. I'll give you maybe 5 or 6 amendments. List out Amendment 1, Amendment 2, Amendment 6, Amendment 8, Amendment 5. So I'll give you like an extra amendment in the list. And then list out 4 things and ask you which amendment it goes with. Make sense? No. You need to be familiar with them. I'm going through and explaining them as we go through. And we kind of covered them yesterday too. All right, Amendment 4, search and seizure. The right of the people to be secure in their persons. In other words, the right to be safe yourself. You're not going to come up and be searched without reason while you're just standing somewhere. The right of the person to be secure in your house, your papers, your effects, in other words, your things, against unreasonable search and seizure shall not be violated, and no warrant shall issue, but upon probable cause, supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized. In other words, there has to be probable cause for a search. There needs to be a warrant issued. A person can't just be searched just because. There has to be probable cause. Now, I know people can be creative with their definition of what probable cause might be at times, but according to Amendment 4, there has to be probable cause and there needs to be a warrant. Okay. What that goes back to was British soldiers used to go in and pretty much ransack people's homes, their papers, their person, just to take things. And this is a direct kickback against that. Okay. Okay, search and seizure. To be searched. or arrested, there has to be a warrant with probable cause. You notice that all these little ribbons are almost as colorful as me today.
You just don't have brown on it. You said you don't have brown on it.
There's brown on my socks
Okay.
and there's sloths, but I know it's all stretched out, so it's hard to see.
And ducks and bears. What do y'all have to wear tomorrow? Mustaches.
I'm gonna be a Lorax, complete with orange hair, mustache.
Can't kids do it?
Yeah.
My mom just might.
Party City has tape on mustaches, but I'm gonna glue mine on because I've worn the tape on one before and it falls right off, so I gotta glue it on too. Y'all didn't see that I have duochrome makeup on so that when I move, the eyeshadow actually changes colors. You've seen those cars that are duochrome? When they move, they change colors? My eyeshadows do.
It gets a different angle of the.
Yep, I'm colorful today.
It's called tints, I think. I mean,
These are called expensive, expensive eyeshadows. Custom order. Nope, uniform bottoms. Okay, Amendment 5, rights in criminal cases. No person shall be held to answer for a capital or otherwise infamous crime, in other words, a big crime, unless on a presentment or indictment of a grand jury, except in cases arising in the land. Anybody else hear a high-pitched sound?
Yeah. Oh, what?
I'm wondering if it's the computer. Okay, arising in the land or naval forces or in the militia when in actual service in time of war or public danger. In other words, military crimes are handled differently. Which in actual service in time of war or public danger. Nor shall any person be subject for the same offense to be put in jeopardy of life or limb. In other words, no double jeopardy. You cannot be convicted or tried twice for the same crime. Nor shall be compelled in any criminal case to be witness against himself. You cannot be forced to give testimony against yourself. Nor be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. Nor shall private property be taken for public use without just compensation. So a person cannot be tried twice for the same crime. A person cannot be forced to testify against himself or herself. A person cannot be held for a major crime without going before a grand jury first, unless it's a military tribunal, military justice. That's different. And property cannot be private property cannot be taken for public use unless the person is given fair compensation.
What's the highest rank in military police?
I don't know. I just know generals are high rank. Okay, rights of the accused. Let's keep going because it's already 9:30. See, senor. Guarantees. It is that any person
accused of a crime has the right to a trial. That was because in King George's time, they would cart people off to another country and then they would wait for years, never have a trial. And so they could not be found innocent or guilty. A person cannot be accused or convicted twice for the same crime. And they do not have to incriminate themselves. It is. I plead the fifth. It is, but there's a lot to that, and it's all very important. I don't feel like I'm in a million degrees anymore. All right, make sure you get all that. This is a 20-point grade. 20. Guarantees that any person accused of a crime has a right to a trial. A person cannot be accused or convicted twice for the same crime, and they do not have to incriminate themselves. I plead the fifth. We're only halfway through this, and we still have 10 minutes left.
More like 9. That's 6, 7, studying.
My wig's staying because I have all these feathers clipped through my wig to my hair.
Are you using that little thing that they use with the little stuff on the
The
hair?
wig cap.
I think that's the name of it.
Yeah, I have a wig cap on too. And I'll also have a headband on. And it's going through the wig to my head.
I didn't know the name of it because I don't know that word.
All right, right to a speedy trial. So this one, we go to the next page. All right, Canvas, you can, load up the page. Hello. You can do it. Mm. It's preparing the file. Okay, Amendment 6, right to a speedy trial. In all criminal prosecutions, the accused shall enjoy the right to a speedy and public trial by an impartial jury of the state and district wherein the crime shall have been committed. In other words, you can't send people off to another country to make it a whole nother kind of punishment. Which district shall have been previously ascertained by law and to be informed of the nature and cause of the accusation. People have to know what they're being accused of. To be confronted with the witnesses against them. They can't just have random people accusing them of things. To have compulsory process for obtaining witnesses. Do not lean in your chair. For obtaining witnesses in his favor. And to have the assistance of counsel for his defense. Every person that is accused of a crime goes to court, in local court, and they have right to lawyer. Because they weren't getting that under King George. Okay. Make sure this is screen sharing. Any person accused of a crime has the right to a public and speedy trial and the right to have a lawyer.
That one was short.
Uh-huh.
On the this comes after accused.
Or convicted. Yes, ma'am.
Is that a room by now?
Yes, it is. Okay. Flip your page. Well, we got to keep going. All right, flip your page to the back. Amendment 7, trial by jury. In suits at common law, where the value and controversy shall exceed $20 whole, the right of trial by jury shall be preserved, and no fact tried by a jury shall be otherwise re-examined in any court of the United States than according to the rules of the common law. So trial by jury if you're accused of a crime greater than $20.
I'm really amazed
That's, I know, $20 is a lot of money.
a lot.
Yeah, that's
I didn't know what-
an amazing amount.
Yeah, that's like
Would be a lot back then. Okay. Guarantees that a person will have a trial with a jury, because you don't want it to be, oh, well, you know, half the people will have a trial this way and half won't. It has to be that everybody. So that's why the word guarantee in there. Where do you guys head today? All right, so we got 7 done today at 2 points apiece. That means today's will be worth 14 points. Okay. Tomorrow you'll get 6 points. So you'll need to get yours finished up today then. You'll be here today during RTI, right? So you'll need to get yours finished up today then. Anybody else know for a fact that you won't be here tomorrow? You won't be here tomorrow, Ricardo? Okay, listen to me. Listen to me. Raise your hand if you know you will not be here tomorrow. Raise your hand if you will not be here tomorrow. It's just Melanie, right? Just her. Okay. Melanie will be here during RTI so she can get it finished. All right, let's line up.
Bye.
Copy the topic.
So my uncle like his dad was like yeah, he had a yeah, they I think they in Dallas. They had a good medical. Yeah, he was in
All right, need everybody in the line.
Miss Taylor.
All right, guys, in line, scoot it up, solid line. I need to get you guys to the library because we're late. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Let's go.
kids.